Today's news is Myanmar's military regime has announced a temporary ceasefire from April 2nd to April 22nd to facilitate relief and rehabilitation efforts following the devastating 7.7 magnitude earthquake that struck the country last week. The disaster has claimed over 2,700 lives and displaced thousands, exacerbating an already dire humanitarian crisis. State-run media reported the ceasefire aims to aid recovery, but conflicting reports suggest that military offensives against rebel groups continue despite the disaster. Junta leader Min Aung Hlaing insists the military has halted its offensives, but accuses rebels of exploiting the situation for attacks. However, a major rebel alliance declared a unilateral ceasefire to support humanitarian aid. The United Nations condemned the junta's continued airstrikes, calling them outrageous and urging world leaders to take action. Before the earthquake, Myanmar was already in turmoil due to its ongoing civil war. More than 3 million people had been displaced, and nearly 20 million were in urgent need of aid, according to the UN. The disaster worsened living conditions as thousands of homes were reduced to rubble. The junta has reported 2,886 deaths, 4,600 injuries, and 373 people still missing. Despite the declared ceasefire, there are concerns about how effectively aid can be delivered. Reports indicate that the ruling military has maintained an aggressive stance, with Amnesty International confirming airstrikes even after the earthquake. Meanwhile, the international community is closely watching the situation, with pressure mounting on the military regime to allow uninterrupted humanitarian access. As survivors struggle with limited resources, the junta's approach to handling the crisis remains controversial. The disaster has forced people into overcrowded shelters with shortages of food, water, and medical supplies. Aid organizations are calling for immediate and unrestricted assistance to prevent further suffering. The international response remains cautious, with diplomatic efforts ongoing to ensure aid reaches affected areas. As Myanmar reels from its worst disaster in decades, the coming weeks will be critical in determining whether the ceasefire holds or if conflict continues despite the tragedy. For more updates, subscribe to Newsgra. Thanks for watching.